Hi there, it's Karen at Corrie Paper Crafts, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in central Scotland. Welcome to today's Simple Sundays project, and it's a little bit of a combination of Simple Sundays and Festive Friday because I didn't get a Festive Friday video done this week, so I figured it was better late than never, and I thought I would just combine it with today's Simple Sundays project. So it is a tiny little gift bag, and I thought I would do a miniature version of the bigger roll top gift bag that I made previously. It's really quite small. The finished dimensions of this bag are 1 3/8 by 1 3/8 in inches by about 3.5, just under 3.5 inches tall, and in centimetres that's 3.5 by 3.5 by 8.9, so it's really small and would hold maybe a couple of chocolates, something like that, or even some rolled up money, just to disguise that as the gift that you're giving. So all you need is a piece of 6x6 designer series paper. It doesn't use a lot at all, and the DSP that I used for this is the 'Tis the Season papers. So I'm going to get on straight away and show you how I made it. So what you'll need is a piece of designer series paper which measures 6 by 6 inches or 15.2 by 15.2 centimetres, and just a scrap of Whisper White cardstock for stamping your sentiment. So keeping the pattern true, so the top at the top and the bottom at the bottom, this is where we're going to do our first set of score lines. So I'm just going to bring in my scoreboard, and as I say, with the top of any directional pattern here and the bottom here, the first set of score lines are going to be in inches, will be at 1 3/8, 2 3/4, 4 1/8, and 5 1/2, and in centimetres that will be 3.5, 7, 10.5 and 14. Turn it clockwise so that the top of your pattern is now here, and score again at 1 3/8, and then at 5, and then at 5 1/2, and in centimetres that's 3.5, 12.7 and 14, and that's all the scoring done. So let's pop the scoreboard away and fold and burnish on all of these score lines, just like so. It's a really pretty paper pack, the 'Tis the Season, and I thought I would just keep with the sort of tartan look and do it in real red this time. The main colour in that other one is shaded spruce, and I stamped my sentiment in shaded spruce on the one that I made earlier, but this time we're going to do real red. So just fold and burnish on all of those score lines, fold these ones at the top as well, and so that it's a bit more pliable once you've put your bag together, these two smaller score lines at the top, I would suggest that you actually fold and burnish them in both directions, just to break down those fibres a little bit more. There we are. I actually quite like that. I'm thinking that I might make another bag with that round the top like that, because I really do like it. So I'm just going to give it one more burnish that way. There we are. So we need to cut a couple of bits away. So these two little parts here, these narrow sections are the top of the bag, and this is the bottom. And as always, we've got the thin section at the side for putting the bag together. I'm not sure how easily you can see those, but on the bottom you've got your 4 squares here, but you've always got this little narrow triangle, so we're just going to cut that away completely and notch in there, and just notch a little bit at the top just on that narrow bit there, and then I'm just going to cut up either side of these score lines here, just to neaten the bottom of the bag just a little bit. So I'm really just taking away a tiny little bit, and it really is just the score line that I'm taking away rather than notching. There we are. So it's just a tiny little bit. I probably could have cut that just a little bit straighter, but you know me and straight cutting. And the last one just either side of that score line, like so. There we are. And that's what we're left with once we've done all our cutting. So what I want to do now is just double check which is going to be the back. So that's going to be the seam at the back of my bag here. So this is going to be the front flap, that is going to be the back flap, and these are going to be the side flaps, and I'm just going to trim those down a little bit because we don't need them to be that size. So I'm just going to line them up to about 3/4 of an inch and trim them down. There we are. Put my trimmer away. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of tear and tape onto those side flaps and the front flap, which is always the flap in between the two side ones. So I'm just going to add a little bit to either of these, or to both of these rather, and then I'm going to add a couple of bits to what will be the front flap as well. And to stop it gaping, I'm going to take that tape right to the edge. There we are. And then I just need to add a little bit along the side flap here for joining it together, as you know, close to the fold but not actually on it. And just take that off at an angle there. There we are. I'm going to give them all a little extra burnish to make sure that that tape's well stuck. There we go. And then pop the bag, whoops, together while I knock all my Stampin' blocks all over the place as well. So just bring this over and join it up like so. Take the tape backing off of these side flaps, there we are. Pop the bag back into shape, side flaps over, and bring the back flap over like so, and then the front flap is last to be stuck down. There we are. And then I'm just going to give that a couple of extra presses with my paper folder, and then all I'm going to do is push in at the sides here. You will feel a little bit of natural resistance like so, but just gently pop that in with your fingers like so. Give that an extra squeeze, and then gently pressing it together and keeping it together at the top. Just give it a couple of rolls, oops, down like so, and just give that little gentle squeeze, but don't force it too much. And that's our bag. So what we need to do is just open this up again and pop a little bit of tear and tape just to hold the ribbon, just a little bit on here. I'm just going to use my ruler to tear that off. Give it a burnish, and I'm using this metallic ribbon from the basket weave and metallic ribbon combo pack, which is in our current August to December mini catalogue, and it's really pretty. So I'm just going to line that up in the middle of the tape round about there. Just give that a press down, fold it down once, fold it down twice, and then cut off about that much. And then I brought both pieces of ribbon round the back first before I brought them back round to the front like so, and I'm going to enlist in the help of one of my faithful little clips just to help hold that down until I tie it in a knot. And you'll be pleased to hear that I am not going to try and tie a bow on the front of this bag this time. I'm just going to tie it in a knot and hopefully get that in the middle like so. I just want to be able to press that down and pop that through like so and pull it tight, but just make sure that the knot stays fairly central like so. And I'm really quite pleased about that. It's worked out better than the original one that I did, which I'm quite happy about. So yay, success just for a change, and less trauma for you folks watching me trying to tie a bow. So little snip there and little snip about there, and that's my bag made. So it's just a case of doing a little bit of stamping now. So I'll get my real red ink. I've actually got a smaller scrap of Whisper White cardstock right beside me actually, and the stamp set I used is the Itty Bitty Christmas Cling stamp set, and the greeting that I used is this cute Very Merry here. So I've already got that mounted on a block, which is here, and it actually fits on an A block. It's really that small, and hopefully I will be able to stamp that straight because I'm not right above this. So if I bring it down a little bit, I know it's near the bottom of the camera shot, but that does let me kind of see what I'm doing, and I'm hopeful that's not too bad, that is straight. It probably didn't look straight when I was stamping it because I put the sticker on squint. You know me and straight, we don't really go together. So I'm just going to trim that down using my trimmer, and I think I will just take another little bit off the bottom, but then I'm not going to faff about with it too much because you then get that you've cut too much off it or whatever. So as long as it's even at both sides, and it more or less is, I'll maybe just trim a little bit on this side. Just about there. Yep, perfect, there we go. And I just need a couple of dimensionals to pop onto the back, so one at each side, just like so. Oops, wants to stick to me, which you can't do, I'm afraid. Take the backing off. It the right way round obviously, and pop that just on the front of my bag near the bottom, and there we have it. Nice and quick and simple, and just really pretty for hiding a chocolate or two, or some rolled up money, as I say, just to make it look like that's not really what the present is. So I hope you like that. I hope you have a go. Let me know if you do, and thanks for watching. Nice and short video today, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.